Hey docs, I want to give you some tips here as it comes to leadership. This might be a little bit of a longer video, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling like you've had enough of these rules, this lockdown, whatever it is for your practice, then stay tuned to this video. If you don't have the time, it's okay to click off of it, but I just want to give you some heads up. I'm going to give you some really valuable leadership skills and really some antidotes if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're getting a bit overrun. So we're here at a workshop in Dallas, which is sold out. And this right across the street from my hotel really kind of brought to fruition what I was thinking about on the way out here, which is there's a lot of docs feeling overwhelmed. A lot of the docs I'm going to teach tomorrow kind of came in with that sentiment that, hey, I'm just feeling run down, burned out. It's been 50 plus weeks of abnormal, routine schedules, agendas, behaviors, lockdowns, you name it. So I'm gonna give you some things right here that'll help you out, and 3 simple tips on leadership. First thing is, I wanna set the context right. If you don't have a vision for your practice, you don't reaffirm it and say it verbally often and express your vision often, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. You could feel like the stampede gets away from you, and it could be overwhelming, it could be a bit much. And honestly, I've seen docs really start to go negative after an established practice that was profitable start to go negative. Part of it is their profit margins aren't enough. But the second thing is I'm starting to see some common themes with these doctors, and they're almost like too nice. I'm gonna say that again. If you're one of those doctors that's just too nice, you wanna make everybody happy, you take votes from your team on everything, it's probably slowing you down. It's probably the subluxation in your practice. And the truth is, as a leader, one of the things you've gotta do is decide what is to be voted on and what is something where you're not running a democracy. In other words, you're not taking votes on this topic. This is the vision, this is the course. Now get in line, and this is called the processional effect. So I'm gonna get into some leadership skills. If this benefits you, if this sounds like something that would help you, then definitely listen in. But again, I wanna be conscious of your time. If you go, hey, this isn't for me, that's cool too. But I'm gonna get into a step 1, 2, 3 for your practice. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you need some leadership skills for uncertain times, things even with your team have kind of gotten chaotic, or you've got members of your team that aren't exactly sure what the rules are, I want to help you out in this quick video. So hang with this, I'm going to give you some gold here and hopefully free up your headspace so we can crush it in 2021. All right, so let's jump into some things you can do right away. These are leadership skills, and a very important premise for your practice and certainly for your business model is commitments you make to yourself, you have to keep it. Rule number 1 in leadership is you have to honor the commitments to yourself, because basically that's your innate intelligence checking in with you to start your day, what your routine is. And if you say you're gonna wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym, then you need to do it. Or maybe your gym's closed down, which I know a lot of them are, but you built a home gym and you're gonna get up at 6:30 and do your home gym workout. You have to honor the commitments to yourself. If not, you are in direct contradiction to the phrase leadership, in that you're not even willing to follow your own recommendations. Not good. Another example would be getting your chiropractic care. Hey, do you get checked and adjusted once a week? I like to get checked twice a week. So I have no problem telling my patients for lifetime wellness care, if I'm getting checked twice a week, you should come in once a week. It's not a big deal for me to recommend that for ongoing care for life of my patients because I do it. So I hope you understand how important congruence is in moving away from contradictions. In leadership, rule number 1 is it starts with yourself, okay? If you can lead yourself, honor your own commitments, you're congruent with what you said you were gonna do and you do it, then you're vibing at a much higher frequency. And I'm telling you, that matters. It matters going into your reported findings. It matters going into your team meetings. If you're vibing high because you do what you say you're gonna do for yourself, then you can ask your team to follow those same commands. Because the opposite is the contradiction. Contradictions lead to destruction, as my good friend Pat Tempo would tell you. And if you are in a contradiction of what you say you're going to do, but you don't really do it, and then you try to turn those words to action steps for your teams, well, they're not going to do it either, okay? So rule number 1 in leadership is honor the commitments to yourself. And kind of the second half of that would be give yourself some playtime. You have to allow out the childlike enthusiasm. you have to allow yourself some playtime, some free time, so that when it is work mode, you can really buckle down. And those two things go hand in hand. So that's leadership skill number one. Honor yourself. I got two more, and I know this will help you out. Okay, leadership number two comes with your team. It's something that I've seen docs, again, not do really well, or they get overwhelmed with it. In other words, they have trepidation going into it. They don't really want to bring it up. They don't really want to talk about it. And this has to do with evaluations. Your team evaluations, first of all, should be done every quarter. That's a huge leadership skill, is when do you do it? If you only evaluate after a mistake, man, are you sending the wrong message, and you do not have a team working with you. You don't have the processional effect that I mentioned at the top of the video, which is you go and they follow. You won't have that trust. If you only critique after a mistake, that's a big problem. Every 90 days, chunk it down, have a conversation that's open, and just see what's going on with them. But the real tip here is when it comes to evaluating your team, I want to tell you where most docs kind of lose their footing is they evaluate kindly, but not accurately. I'll say that again. They don't evaluate their team accurately. They just want to be nice and they just want to give them room. And all of a sudden the inmates run the asylum, and that's the opposite of leadership. If your team is making the rules and doc, you're accommodating their schedule, you're letting them come in late, you allow tardiness, you allow them to leave early even though you're there with the report of findings, not cool. They come back from lunch 15 minutes late, not okay. In order to be the leader, you need to evaluate accurately and kindly, but most importantly is the accuracy. So the way that we do this, and this is a procedure you can take out of this video, is what I call better best. Hey Mary, here's what I think you need to be doing better. I'm going to evaluate you accurately because this needs to change. So it's an accurate evaluation. Here's what you could do better. And then we finish it with best. That's why we call it better best. What you can do better is this, but here's what I think you do the best at, and this is why I love having you in here. And so then what we can do is marry those two concepts, accuracy, which is most important, and kindness. And you can say, here's what you need to do better, but above all, here's what I think you do the best of any CA in all of chiropractic. And man, I love your efforts here. We just need to tweak this one thing. You coming back late from lunch, that's not cool. You showing up to the office after patients are here and the door's unlocked, that's not a Ritz-Carlton service. You know, you not taking notes at the meeting wasn't cool today. You showing up without a notebook, whatever the thing is, you know, these are all procedures in my office that really give me freedom because we have some structure around the procedures. No structure, no feedback, no accuracy, you're gonna lose your freedoms, docs, and then you get into overwhelm and some of the burnout, again, I mentioned at the top of this video. So that is tip number two, evaluate your team accurately, not kindly, but also do it routinely. I hope I'm helping you out with this. And I got a third tip and we will wrap this beauty up. All right, I'm gonna give you the third tip here. And this is really important to get the context right, okay? We gave you some procedures, some headspace stuff. But one of the things I've seen from workshops all over the world, and I'm talking, I do workshops in Europe and Australia and plenty here in the States, is docs that take votes. There is a time to run a democracy and there is time you just gotta make a change. Third tip in leadership is there is a time where you as the leader have to stop taking votes, make a decision, express your view and your vision clearly, and realize it might be time to switch up some team members. In other words, if this lockdown has changed your procedures, if you've pushed through some tough times and you don't feel the full support, rule number one is decide what you're gonna do and have everybody get behind you to support it. Even if they vote against an idea that was allowing votes, even if their concept got shut down, they still need to support that idea. But now I'm talking about concepts where you're not taking votes and you're saying, hey, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, and this is where we need to go. Realize there may be a time where someone needs to just get off the bus. And that's what I call it. It's just time to get off the bus. It's okay, you've done your time here, it's great, but things are changing. We are making switches. And I do some really powerful workshops where it's just 2 days and I say, you're gonna go back and you're gonna change your day one. You're gonna do a totally different report of findings. Get away from the group reports, which some docs got in trouble for doing group reports, and then they're going knee to knee and they're making more money and signing more people up. We've done workshops on public speaking, on things with personal injury, it doesn't matter. I've done a bunch of different topics, and then when it's time to go back Monday, sometimes I'll hear docs go, well, let me see what my team says, and I just go, what? Like, No, you're not taking votes. You came this weekend. We gave you everything you needed, loaded up the notebooks. Some of the workshops will get 50-page notebooks loaded. And they're like, well, let me see what my CA thinks about it. You mean the one that isn't here? Bad move. So realize you are the ultimate authority. Be the doctor, doctor. My first and favorite philosophy speaker was a guy at the podium banging out saying, you need to be the doctor, doctor. I said, he's really cool. Who is that? I said, oh, that's Fred Barge. I said, I like that. So I teach a lot that way. Be the doctor, doctor. Make the decision, and these are my recommendations. Tell your team what the vision is, and this is where we're going. And if for some reason you're making a change and you're going to go in a different direction, you need that processional effect. You need a team that will support you. So hopefully these 3 leadership skills get that support before you get to the point where someone's got to get off the bus. But ultimately, that might need to happen, because if it's overwhelming you, your patients are going to feel that tension too. So do what's right, and I'm telling you, there is a time at which I'm not taking votes. Here's where we're going, but I need everybody's support. If you have the one CA that can't give you support in those scenarios, consider, not mandatory, but consider time for them to get off the bus. But what I don't like hearing at my workshops, or when docs are ready to make a major shift and it's for the better, is things like, let me run it by my CAs. Let me see what they say. I go, really? You're gonna take votes on this? We're gonna increase your profitability. Things that we do at our workshops, like the Elements workshop, we have immediate results Monday. Don't take votes, just do it. And by Friday, they'll see you were right. And actually, that strengthens your leadership as well. When you make a tough decision and you're right, what you build into the equation, this is probably the most powerful tip of this video, is trust from your team. They will trust you over their own opinions. They will look to you for guidance and leadership over their own thoughts. And that's when really you're in a position to change your community and ultimately start helping more people in your community. Leadership of yourself, step 2 becomes leadership of your team. And when you get the buy-in from them to back you up, even if you have a different concept than them and you're right, then step 3 comes into play, which is you can have leadership of your community. So it's leadership of self first, leadership of your team with some procedures we gave you. And then number 3 is leadership within your community to really see a lot of people, have it go well for you and not get overwhelmed. This, my friends, is true leadership and what we call the processional effect, where you get to a point where you can just say, this is where we're going. I'll tell you how we're going to do it later. I'll tell you what it's about. Just let's go. And everybody falls in line and they go. And that, my friends, is a fun practice to have, one that's also loaded with freedom. Hope this helps you out. Drop a positive comment down below if you like this. If you haven't liked some of our pages, we have a Facebook page called Dr. Glow. Like that page. I leave videos like this to help you out. Also, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, because I like to leave things that will just help you in your practice, everyday stuff. And I didn't want to do this as a promotion. So check out our workshops, because there's a lot of things we're doing that help docs out. We give a lot up front, and people walk out of there going, I've never been to a workshop like this. A lot of times there's teasers into bigger programs. The truth is, I still make my money over the table. I still see patients. So the fees we charge are pretty nominal for the advice we give. And if you appreciate a video like this, drop a comment down below, hit subscribe, click the like button, thumbs up, whatever the buttons are there. You get the idea, and go lead your community. People need you now more than ever. Hope this helps you out. Let's have a rockin' 2021 and beyond. Cheers, everybody.